Doctor?
Yes, ma'am.
So when we were doing Alliteration, it locked me off of the meeting and I didn't know. So I really didn't get to do hear the alliteration part.
Okay. Well, we talked about this on Monday about different kinds of figurative language. We talked about, or
Yes.
we worked with metaphors on Monday. We worked with similes on Tuesday. But today we're going to work with alliteration.
Are
Similes
you
and
gonna,
metaphor. Go ahead, Jane.
sorry, are you gonna explain it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, similes and metaphors are very similar. Similes and metaphors take two different things
Is this
and then
awesome?
compare them. A simile, you would use the word like or the word as to compare the two things. So you might say something like, um, the might say something like, my socks were as red as a something like that. Now a metaphor, still comparing two different things, but the difference is that you don't use the word like, you don't use the word as. So you would say just something like, um, you could say, instead of my socks were as red as a tomato, you could just say my socks were tomatoes. Now you don't really mean that your socks are made out of tomato, but you're saying because they're so red, they look like tomatoes. Alliteration is a little bit different. So I want you to take a look at the example here. Alliteration is when you write a sentence and you keep using the same sound, same consonant in the beginning of the words of your sentence. So they give us two examples. They show us a picture of this little ghost here. And I want you to take a look at the sentence. They went ahead and they highlighted the consonants for repeating sounds. Ghosts glide across the golden grass, gathering goblins and grasshoppers. Yes, Violet.
I can't see the presentation. All I see is the reading with that. Okay, now I can see it.
Okay. But make sure you have yours open as well, okay? Notice again that they highlighted all of those G's for it. They kept using that consonant to start their words. So keep hearing that G sound. They even did a second sentence. They giggle as they glide above the ground. So again, that second sentence has that G sound repeating over. That's what alliteration is. Alliteration is when you keep using the same consonant to start words in your. It's like repetition. We're going to do one together. This slide has a picture of a werewolf on it. So, werewolf starts with a W, the W. So, I want to think of a sentence, something I could write where I could keep using that W sound and that W letter at the beginning of. Now, one thing I could do that would help me out is I could give this werewolf a name. So, what's a name I could use for my werewolf that starts with a W? I want to use alliteration, so it has to be something with a W. Haley,
Whip,
what is the name?
whip.
Okay, so I could use that. Okay, Messiah. You said whip, right? Okay, so my sentence could be whip the werewolf. Okay, now I want to keep that alliteration going. What could whip the werewolf do that would start with a W, or that I could keep using that W sound? Chase, what do you think? What could he do that would start with a W? Okay, he could walk. Whip the werewolf. Ooh, what if we put whip the werewolf went walking? Okay, where could he go walking to? Something else I could use with a W. Noah?
Car wash?
Ooh, to the car wash. Walking to the car wash. Okay, so Whip the werewolf went walking to the car wash. Okay, pretty good. Now I want to have between 2 or 3 sentences for each one. So I need another sentence about Whip the werewolf. What could he do while he's at the car wash? Something that would start with a W. Haley?
Wash people's cars?
You could watch, maybe he works there. So, Whip washed cars. And what else could he do while he's washing these cars that would start with a W? Whip washed cars. Jadine?
While eating whipped cream?
Ooh, I like it. He washed cars while, and it even has a W there, while eating whipped cream. So Whip the werewolf went walking to the car wash. Whip washed cars while eating whipped cream. That's pretty good. Lots of W sounds in. Okay, this next one has a picture of a witch. So we're going to continue trying to use those W sounds. And again, I think what would help is to come up with a name for that witch. But here's what I want you to do. We're going to try something new. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put you guys in groups. And I want you to work with a group. And I want you to come up with 2 or 3 sentences using as many of those W sounds as you can. Okay? So we're going to try and see how this works out for us. And then when we come back, I'll give you guys some time to do it in your groups. When we come back, I'll have the different groups tell me what were you able to come up with. No, nobody from the group came up with anything? So what were we doing the whole time? Well, if we were working, then we would have come up with something. So what did we come up with? Doesn't matter if we're not finished or not. I'm just asking what you came up with. So, but if nobody in the group has anything to come any that they didn't come up with anything, that's not working. Okay, that's not bad, Messiah. The Willow the witch flew on her broom, whooshed into the sky. She landed at her friend Wendy's house to climb through her window to surprise her. That's not too bad. I'd like if there were a little more W's, but I especially like the first sentence. I think the second sentence, there's not a whole lot of W's, so you don't really notice the repetition. But I like the name. It goes very well for little. What about somebody from group 2? So Alexa, Jaylene, Noah, or uh, Jadine. Any one of you can.
Can I talk?
Yeah.
Um, the first sentence we came up was Willie the witch went to the witch meeting.
Okay. Is that where we stopped? Is that all we could do?
No, we did one more sentence, but Alexa looked like she wanted to talk.
Oh.
Well, the second sentence was was that she came back from the meeting and she watched witch movies.
Okay. So, what was the name of the witch again? What did you come up with?
Willie.
Willie the witch went to the witch meeting. When she came back, she watched witch movies. Okay. I like that. Like the witch meeting. Lots of W's, especially in that first sentence. I think we kind of ran into the same problem as group 1 in the second sentence, where there weren't as many W's. You don't really notice that you're repeating them over and over. What about somebody from group 3? Bailey, Jada, or Violet? Violet, what'd you guys come up with?
Wendy the witch wondered what the weather would be on Wednesday so she could see with the werewolf.
I like that. That was only one sentence, but that was a lot of W's. I love it. You wondered what the weather was on Wednesday. Tons of W's. So even though that's only one sentence, that's great alliteration. And what about group 4? Brianna, Christopher, and Kaylee. One of you go ahead and turn on your microphone and tell me, what did you...
We said Wilda Witch was wandering on her broom in the woods.
Very good.
Wilda bumped in a tree with a warlock. I forgot a sentence.
Again, I think that first sentence is fantastic. Tons of W's.
A video game this now.
What was it, Kaylee?
I'm just telling the fact about a warlock. It's in a game Destiny.
Oh, okay. But you got that, especially that first sentence is fantastic. Tons of W's. I love the alliteration you all came up with. So, for those of you, if you were able to get 2 sentences with your group, then you're fine on slide number 4. If your group only came up with 1 sentence, I want you to come up with 1 more on your own to add to that which slide. And then these 3, we're going to work on our own. So we have 1 slide that's a monster, 1 slide that's a cat, and 1 slide that's a vampire. So for the monster slide, we're going to use lots of M's. So lots of words that start with M in our sentence. For the cat slide, we're going to start a lot of our words with the C. And for the last slide, lots of words that start with
Our letter for slide 5.
For slide 5, the letter is M for monster. What's up, Alexa?
Okay.
Next time we do one of these, can we work in the same groups?
Usually when I make the groups, it'll kind of split them off randomly, but we'll see.
Okay.
What's up, Kaylee?
Are we going in groups again?
No, for these ones, you're going to be working on your own.
Okay.
What's up, Alexa?
Is the guy from slide 5 a Frankenstein or a monster?
It's a monster.
Okay.
So we're going to keep using the M sound. Okay? And since you all came up with some on your own for the which one, I'm going to see if I can come up with one while you all are working. When I come up with a good one, I'll share it with you.